gentlemen. As you might imagine, I feel very honored to be invited to give the address at the start of the new academic year at this venerable university.
And it's wonderful you wrote this very important book, and it's even more wonderful that you're actually willing to come to our university and engage with us in this very important topic. What are universities for? Who does the university belong to? You ended yesterday by saying that it's actually universities are for future generations, and I think that's an incredibly important guiding principle. And what we need to make sure is that we preserve them, that we don't destroy them, that we keep the very essence of universities, because everybody understands how incredibly important they are. That's why we all feel ownership, that's why there's such a heavy debate, and I think that's wonderful, that's really good.
Perhaps the only way to maintain in the long term the independence of thought and the freedom of inquiry is if the academic community is in some significant sense self-governing.
Well, as Professor Collini said yesterday, universities are owned by the people, by everybody, even future generations. So what we should do as universities is involve those people and make them proud that there are universities. It doesn't mean that they have to have a vote in what we do, but they should understand what we do, how we do it, and why we do it.
If we are trustees for a co-owned intellectual inheritance, can we do more than fragment this into little bits and pieces? And if not, how can we possibly keep all the stakeholders on board, Professor Collini?
There is some room for organizational choice. And I think it's not enough to just discuss and reformulate our goals, be it in the form of a mission statement or during discussions like this. We also need to be explicit about a strategy to achieve them, which also could inspire our governments to change their policies.
How can we in modern society, which is a different society from 50 years ago, preserve core essential values of the universities and of scholarship in this hyper-competitive, globalized world?
But I do think that there are very large numbers of people in both our societies, the Netherlands and Britain, and in other similar societies, who are not themselves involved in universities directly, but who do have a strong intuitive sense that the current language of economic instrumentalism is not the whole story for universities.
But I feel that we could make the debate slightly more political and talk about whose heritage this is and who the university belongs to in that respect. So who's coming into our universities and who's coming out of them, and who do we choose to be professors, who do we choose to be PhDs. And I find it problematic that the balances are still very unequal, even though Leiden University and all universities are trying hard to make the balances better. They are still not very good, so the statistics are not favorable for women students.
But I think some such set of debates in which people feel willing to speak, I hope, freely, critically, are what universities are for. We're very privileged to operate in institutions which can treat this as part of our natural proceedings. This is not, as it were, time out. This is not a leisure activity for us. This actually is one of the things we think that we do professionally, collectively, as teachers and students. So even events like this, I think, really should be treasured for that reason, and I'm certainly very grateful for them. Thank you.
I think it is very important that we have this debate, bringing together representatives of Leiden University of very different disciplines who exchange their ideas on the university, the values of the university, and especially the role that the university plays in society. I thought it was a very inspiring debate, and I'm assured that this was the beginning of a series of debate, and I'm looking forward to continue the discussion with a lot of representatives of the university, students, colleagues, administrators.
I really would urge all of you and the academic community that wasn't here today to join us in this effort to stay together as a group and to defend the universal values of a university.